Season's greetings, everybody. I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, as I said before in my Scrooge A Christmas Carol blog last episode, this holiday season marks my 20th year performing with Musical Theater Village. But during the same episode, I also said it is kind of getting close for me to retire. Why, you ask? Well, I must be very frank. Yes, I admit that I did adore making audiences happy with my performances, along with influencing a few people to join the cast, and I was very happy to become Prince when I became a member of the Royal Court back in 2008, along with winning 5 Fantoni Awards. But unfortunately, several people from the cast have been burning me lately by treating me like dirt, getting me into trouble, not to mention that I've been cast as a couple roles which I wasn't very happy with, which influenced several people, including my alleged parents, to tease and humiliate me. But on a positive note, one of my favorite things while rehearsing and performing in A Christmas with Scrooge was participating in the Secret Santa, where every cast member fills out a survey like this, and they buy 3 $5 items and 1 $15 item. And in my eyes, several gifts that I got from my 20 Secret Santas were very nice, and a few others were very special. However, back during the holiday season of 2005, one of the gifts that my first Secret Santa gave me was an animated holiday special from the late 1990s that I've been wanting to share with you viewers for several holiday seasons. And the person responsible for this film would be none other than Steve Oedekerk. That's right, folks. Airing on ABC on December 13th, 1997, the special is Santa vs. the Snowman 3D. Now, on for the plot of the film. The story follows a lonely, silent snowman who discovers Santa's workshop at the North Pole. After being chased away by Santa's security system and elves, the snowman becomes jealous of Santa's popularity. Using a book titled Snow Minions Made Easy, he builds a massive snow army and wages an epic comedic war against Santa's village. So, what do I think of this film? Well, in my personal opinion, this was a very cute, whimsical, and heartwarming 3D film, and it's one that I watch almost every Christmas season. And to further explain why I love it, let's head over to Mustang Notes. The film was created by Steve Oedekerk, who also served as the film's producer. In the director's chair would be John A. Davis, who directed, wrote, and produced Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, and The Ant Bully. He was also the animation director for all of the other reindeer. The film was produced by O Entertainment and DNA Productions. It originally aired on ABC on December 13th, 1997, following the online adventures of Ozzy the Elf. In 2002, the special was re-released to IMAX 3D as Santa vs. the Snowman 3D, with new scenes at the beginning and at the end of the film. On October 12, 2004, the film was released to DVD by Universal Studios Home Video. After its release, it grossed about $10.1 million, and it gained an 81% from Rotten Tomatoes. Also, in 2003, Santa vs. the Snowman was awarded a Golden Reel Award for Best Sound Editing in Special Venue Film, which to me is absolutely very impressive. Now, what are my thoughts on the animation? Well, to me, while the CGI animation is pretty decent, at the same time, it's not exactly perfect compared to Disney, Pixar, or DreamWorks style back then. In fact, I think the short shows a very nice wintry environment And I think the way Santa's village and toy factory is designed very cheerful and full of Christmas delight. Plus, I think Santa's elves have a very interesting design to them, mainly due to them all having a pointy curved nose. But still, aside from being traditional helpers in the workshop, I like that they serve as Santa's loyal high-tech military and production force. Also to note, I think their song, which is sung when the Snowman first discovers the bustling operation of Santa's village, may be a tad repetitive and high-pitched, but at the same time, it is pretty catchy. Plus, I like the part when one of the elves does an Elvis impersonation. And this was the second time I've seen that happen on screen. I mean, does anyone remember the Muppet Elvises whom were playing elves in Muppet Classic Theater? Anyway, back to the short. Another thing that I found memorable about it is the war scene between the Snowman's snow army and the elves. And to me, this fight scene is very zany at times, and I find it interesting that the Snowman has giant igloo-shaped AT-STs, which mostly resemble the ones from Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Plus, I like that the battle features gingerbread men, mistletoe, reindeer, a giant nutcracker, and a giant abominable snowman. Plus, I think the narration by Don LaFontaine is soft, calm, and nice to listen to. And now, let's move on to the characters and their voice actors. Now let's start with the loneliest snowman who has no voice actor. According to the narrator, the reason why the snowman is lonely and mute is because there was nobody around for him to talk to. And because of that, he never learned to speak. So instead, he uses his little flute made of ice as his voice. And every night, he plays said flute to sing to the stars until one night when it shattered. To me, aside from being lonely and mute, which makes him very sympathetic, I find the snowman to be a very curious character, like when he discovers Santa's village. And I think he's very crafty and creative, like when he sneaks onto a guided village train tour and takes pictures with a camera disguised as an ice cream cone. And when he uses high-tech equipment and creates an army of snowman minions in order to invade the workshop. Plus, I think the snowman is pretty similar to Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas. However, unlike Jack, who was consumed by deep boredom and burnout and wanted a creative change, the snowman's reason for wanting to take Santa's job was due to him being jealous of the love and attention that Santa receives. However, the only nitpick I have with the snowman is his design. I mean, several viewers have described his look as ranging from innocent to creepy or zombie-like, with hollow blue eyes and often showing little facial expression. And by watching this film, I could sort of see where they're coming from. Next we come to Jolly Old Santa Claus, voiced by the late Jonathan Winters, whom I remember from Richard Williams' The Thief and the Cobbler, Tiny Toon Adventures, How I Spent My Vacation, The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, along with The Wish That Changed Christmas, the 1985 Alice in Wonderland two-parter special, and of course, the live-action Smurfs movies. In this film, Santa is portrayed as benevolent but high-tech commander-in-chief of the North Pole. Unlike traditional versions, this Santa oversees a highly militarized village protected by advanced alarm systems and legions of security elves. In my eyes, I think Jonathan Winters' voice as Santa gives him a very kind, loving, and caring personality. But at the same time, Santa is also ready for combat, and I like that he shows mercy on the snowman when he gives him a new red and gold flute, which ends their rivalry and makes them fast friends. Plus, I just love the part where Santa says that Christmas giving isn't just for Santa Claus. The spirit of giving is something that lives in all of us. Other voices include Ben Stein, Victoria Jackson, Mark DiCarlo, David Floyd, John A. Davis, and D. Bradley Baker. And now for my final words. Overall, Santa vs. the Snowman 3D is a fun and whimsical little Christmas film. Even though it's only 32 minutes long, the story is very engaging that you won't even notice. And for DNA's first major project, I think the CGI is pretty decent. Though the design on the snowman could have used some more work. Plus, I think the war scene was very zany and hardcore. The voice acting, mostly with Jonathan Freeman's voice as Santa and Don LaFontaine's narration, is very well done. Also, I think the film includes a very nice message on how the true spirit of Christmas lies in selfless giving and friendship rather than just seeking attention or material possessions, which to me is very, very heartwarming. As for my rating, I'm going to give it a 97% out of 100, and I'd like to thank the musical Theater Village Secret Santa who had gifted me this movie about 20 years ago. And I really hope that my friends and family at the theater won't be too heartbroken about my retirement. Well, anyway, that's all for now. Be sure to join me next time where we look at an obscure Christmas movie focusing on the son of one of Santa's flying forces. Mustang Power.